start off lying down. So you're going to lie on your back and take your time getting on the mat, especially if your back feels tight or it's sore. You want to go slow, and I recommend you bend your knees and bring the soles of the feet to the ground. Kind of let your knees line up with your hips. Take a moment to rest your hands on your lap or chest. And if your low back hurts a lot, the other adaptation or modification is to bring the inner thighs together and let the knees knock in as the feet drop out. That's going to be the best way to protect your back, lying down. Closing your eyes. And we're going to go ahead and find our neutral spine. So no tilting or tucking. Just going to keep the spine relaxed. With your eyes closed, take a few moments to start to feel into your body. Noticing what's going on in the back body. Noticing how you're breathing this morning. And also paying attention to the thoughts that you have. I'm trying to shift those thoughts to gentle, soft thoughts. Maybe bringing yourself into the body and breath in such a way that the thoughts no longer distract you or take you away from what you're doing. And while you're here lying down, we're going to stay focusing on the slow, deep, steady breath instead of going to Ujjayi where it's a little more powerful. And stay with a slow, deep, steady flow of breath. And let that slow, deep, steady flow kind of guide your movement when we move. We'll do some repetitive movement. I find that that's really good for the back, so we'll work on that for a little bit. Good. Now, if you have your legs straight or in any permutation aside from hip width and parallel feet, go ahead and bring your legs back into that kind of preparatory bridge pose, where we're bringing the knees in line with the hips and the feet in line with the sits bones. Keep your neck long. We're going to go ahead, inhale, bring the right knee in toward the chest, wrap your arms around the right hamstring or shin, lengthen your right buttock away, and make sure that that left knee stays in line with that left hip point. Now to add on, we're going to exhale, straighten the left leg out on the ground and flex your left foot. You're going to feel that left hip flexor start to release. As you do that, draw the right thigh in a little closer towards you. Now you're going to pendulum your right thigh, right and left. So inhale the right thigh to the right, exhale it to the left. Nothing else is moving. Everything else is nice and still. And you're just going to keep penduluming that right leg, right and left. We're going to do that 2 more times. You start to feel that thigh bone hip socket connection opening up. Now turn this into 5 circles in one direction. Good. And then reverse direction. Good. Now we're going to return that right leg to center. Let's go ahead, inhale, straighten the right leg up toward the ceiling. Hold on to your right hamstring, flex your right foot. Now holding onto the hamstring, reaching the right heel, let's exhale, curl the upper body up, open your elbows out, and think almost like a Pilates kind of belly work here. Keep lengthening your spine. So I'm still holding onto my hamstring. I'm just going to draw my right thigh closer toward me on the exhalation around the thoracic spine. Inhale. Exhale. One more breath. Inhale. And as you exhale, release your spine back down. Bend your right knee and bring the right sole of the foot to the mat. Good. Now let's go ahead and slide the left foot in. Inhale, bring the left knee into your chest, lengthen your left buttock away, and let's straighten out that right leg. So we're going to go ahead and make sure that we lengthen the left buttock away, draw the shoulders down the spine. Now let's go ahead and pendulum. So start going to the left and then to the right. You can inhale, open, exhale, close, whatever works for you here. Good, let's do 2 more. Just feeling that thigh bone, hip socket connection. Good, now let's start drawing circles 5 times in one direction. Good. 2 more times. And now let's reverse direction. Good, keep rotating that thigh bone in the hip socket. Last one. Good, now bringing the leg back to center. Inhale, extend your left leg up, flex the foot, ankle over the hip, hold on to that left hamstring. Inhale. As you exhale, curl your upper body up, rounding your spine, dropping the shoulders, connecting to the breath. Really feel a deep stretch along the hamstring. Keep pulling your belly button in and lengthen through the back of the neck. Another breath or two here. Give the leg a stretch on the exhalations. Good. Now we're going to exhale, release the shoulders, neck, and head. Bend the left knee and bring the left sole of the foot to the earth. Let's bring the right knee in as well. So both feet to the ground. Make sure that they're hip width and parallel. Pull the belly in. Press your arms down on either side of your hips, palms down. Press the shoulders back. From a neutral spine, you're going to inhale, tilt your tailbone up. So feel like your sits bones lengthen away from you. Now exhale, squeeze your buttocks, peel your lower back up, middle back up, upper back up into a bridge. Stay here for a moment in your bridge. Lengthen through the tailbone. Send your knees away from you, shins away from you, heels towards you. Keep your head on straight to protect your back. Now inhale, lift up onto the balls of the feet, pull the abdominals in, keep tracking those knees straight ahead. Keep the shoulders pressing down. Keeping the heels lifted for a moment longer. Can you engage your buttocks a little more? Pull the belly and rib cage in. Now we're going to lower the right heel, keep the left heel lifted, and then switch it out. Good, and switch. Try to drop the heel. Keep switching. This is a little more of a Pilates thing, but I do like it to strengthen the back, so you're just going to keep alternating. Good. And we're going to do 3 more of these. Switching and switching. Once again, dropping right and left. 1 more like this. Right and left. Now lift both heels, lift the hips up, pull the belly in, lengthen the tailbone. Keeping the heels lifted, let's lower the upper back down 1 vertebra at a time, the middle back down, the lower back down, the hips, the buttocks, and the tailbone. Find your neutral spine once again. Now bring your legs to tabletop. Inhale, open the arms out to T, flex your feet, and lengthen your spine. Keep your left shoulder down. Let's exhale for a moment. Release the knees to the right. Turn the head to the left. Place your right arm on the outside of the left thigh. Take a stretch here. If you want to, you can reach your right arm overhead, just lengthening here, creating a little more stretch. That might cause the left shoulder to lift. That's fine. Just keep trying to drop the left shoulder. It's just reaching toward the wall behind you so that you can get a different stretch in the shoulder. Helps release some of the lower back muscles as well. Keep lengthening the spine here. And we're going to open the right arm out to T. Stay there for a moment so your arms are making like a letter L shape. Keep pressing the left shoulder down. Good, another breath. Now open that left arm out to T. Press the left shoulder down. Inhale, nose and knees to center. Now let's go ahead, exhale, release the knees to the left and the head to the right. Lengthen your spine. Take your left arm to the outside of the right thigh. Keep reaching that right shoulder down. Now, if you want to, go ahead and reach that right arm up toward the wall behind you. So not up toward the ceiling, just toward the wall behind you. So there's a nice long lengthening of the right side. You may find that opens up the right external hip a little bit more. Keep pressing the right shoulder down, lengthening your right buttock away. Another couple of breaths here. Good. Now we're going to go ahead and open the left arm out to T so you have like a letter L shape. Keep pressing the right shoulder down. Good. Now let's open the right arm out to T. Inhale, nose and knees to center. As you exhale, curl your upper body up, reaching your arms toward the front edge of your mat. Extend your legs up on an inhale, flex your feet. Breathe. Keep lengthening the spine. I want you to take a slow, steady breath. Every exhalation, try to curl up a little more fully and lengthen your tailbone away. And we're trying to draw the chin toward the chest. Now we're just going to lower the legs halfway. Keep flexing your feet. Pull your abdominals in. Draw the shoulders down the spine. Breathe. Sorry, doing a little bit of core work interspersed throughout, so we are strengthening the back. Now pull the left knee in towards you. Lower your right leg to hover off the ground. Curl up nice and high. Left knee over the left hip. Flex your feet. And now switch. Good. And switch. Like you're pushing the wall away from you. And switch. Switch. Every exhalation switching here. Keep pulling your abdominals in. Lengthening your tailbone. Drawing the shoulders down the spine. We're going to do 3 more sets. This is like the yoga version of Pilates. 2 more. Switch. And switch. Let's do 1 more set here. Switch. And switch. Now go ahead, push both legs out in front of you, pull the belly in, hold for 5, really reach through the heels. 4, tilt the tailbone slightly up. 3, 2, and on 1, sitting on up, bending your knees, bringing them in towards your chest. You can hold on to your hamstrings. Keep sitting up nice and tall. Do what you can. You don't want to push here. Flex your feet. Good. Couple of breaths here. Now I want you to think of drawing your chest towards your thighs and your thighs towards your chest. So you probably notice my low back is going a little bit round. So I'm going to try to sit up a little taller. Keep pulling the belly in and thinking of your hip creases here, really going in and really creating a deep V here in the front of the hips. Good. Now we're going to open the knees apart, point the toes. I'm going to support my outer thighs and sit up tall. Now can you add, reach your arms up for a moment. Keep trying to grow the spine, plug the shoulders in, lift your chest. Good. We're going to hold for 3 more slow, deep breaths. Pointing the toes, maybe the big toes touch. It's almost like a sitting upright Baddha Konasana. Good. Now cross your ankles and come up to all 4s. Excellent. So we're going to place the wrists directly underneath the shoulders. I forgot my watch. I need to keep an eye on the time. The knees directly underneath your hips and lengthen your spine. So we're going to take cat-cow. Push away from gravity. Draw the shoulders back. Exhale, tailbone between the thighs. Hollow out your belly, round your thoracic spine. Rock back slightly as you look inward into cat. Now inhale, point the toes. Lengthen the tailbone. Unfurl the spine. Shoulders back, chest forward, cow. Again, exhale, tuck toes. Hollow out your belly, round your thoracic spine. Rock back slightly in your cat. Now inhale. Point your toes, lengthen your tailbone, unfurl the spine, shoulders back, chest forward, cow. 1 more time. Exhale, tuck your toes, hollow out your belly, round your thoracic spine, rocking back slightly in cat, looking inward. Now inhale, point your toes, lengthen your tailbone, unfurl the spine, shoulders back, chest forward, cow. Now return to neutral spine with toes tucked, keeping the wrists underneath the shoulders. Pull your belly in. We're going to do side cat. So we're going to exhale, take the right hip over to the right, look over the right shoulder, see the right hip. While you're there, make sure that right heel doesn't knock out, so it's in line with the right sits bone. Feel the stretch in the left rib cage. Good, now inhale, return to center. Now we're going to exhale, draw the left hip to the left, look over the left shoulder, see the left hip, make sure that the heel is in line with the sits bone, it's not rolling out. Stretch into the right side. Inhale. Return to center. Once again, exhale, right hip over the right shoulder. See the right hip. Stretch the left side out. Good. Inhale, return to center. And then left hip to the left. Look over the left shoulder. See the left hip. Good. Inhale, return to center. 1 more time. Exhale, right hip over the right. Look over the right shoulder. See the right hip. Inhale, return to center. Last time. Exhale, left hip to the left. Look over the left shoulder. See the left hip. Inhale, return to center. Now from here, we're going to exhale the hips up and the heels back into downward facing dog. Sending the seat back and up. Draw the chest toward the thighs. Allow your collarbones to broaden and connect to your breath. So I want you to feel that your thumb, pointer, and pinky fingers root down into the mat. And the inner and outer edges of the palms of the hands root down. Your arms are shoulder width apart and you're sending your shoulders back and down. You're gazing back at your legs, checking out that your feet are hip width and parallel. You're hiding the heels behind your feet. Let your neck feel long. Let the shoulder blades glide down the spine. Let the seat rise up. as the heels sink down. And remember, if you can't touch the ground with the heels, no worries. Just keep dropping the heels, but lifting the seat up, creating that oppositional force. Couple more breaths here. In through your nose and out through your nose. Slow, deep, steady breaths. So really drawing the shoulders back. Let's go ahead, take a moment here, lift up onto the balls of the feet, inhale, and let's just step the feet halfway forward as we exhale. So getting the ankles directly underneath the hips. Soften your chest towards your thighs. So I'm going to soften my knees a little bit here so you can see I can go from hyperextension to just a little bit of a bend, plugging my thigh bones into my hip sockets. Take a moment here, just for the sake of keeping our hands out of the equation. Let your hands come slightly forward, drop the shoulders, and look back at your feet. Take the hips slightly forward of the ankles. Make sure the feet avoid tipping or turning in, so the heels might turn in a little bit here. You want to keep them parallel. Let's go ahead, exhale, bend the left knee, sink that right heel down. Let your chest or rib cage rest on that left thigh. Really plug it in, pull your belly in. As you do that, try to go deeper into your fold. So with that left knee bent, it's going to prevent you from taking your back too far into the fold, but it's going to let you stretch the hamstrings out. It's also going to take this a little bit into the outer right calf. Good, now we're just going to switch it. Bend the right knee, sink that left heel. Let your right rib cage kind of press into that right thigh. You're really trying to get that outer left calf, hamstring to stretch and avoid putting too much of the back into it. Good. Now we're going to go ahead and try that again. Left knee bends, right leg straightens. Keep sending the seat back and up, drawing the shoulders back. Focus on stretching out the outer right calf, the hamstring. Good, let's switch it out. Right knee bends, left leg straight. Draw the shoulders back, really connect to your breath. Good, we're going to do one more time. Bend the left knee, straighten out the right knee, really go deep into your forward flexion. And then switch it out, bending the right knee, straightening out that left knee. Keep lengthening your spine. Good, now we're going to bend both knees. As you next inhale, take your hands to your shins, straighten the legs and go halfway up. Inhale. Draw the shoulders back, seat back, belly in, chest forward. Lift your toes up, keep the heels rooted, pull the abdominals in, draw the tailbone back, chest forward, keep your neck on straight. Now go ahead, take your left hand, line the fingertips up with the left toes. I'm going to go slightly behind my left shoulder, draw the left shoulder back, inhale, open the right arm out to T, rotating your upper body to the right. Now turn the right palm away from you, top of the hand to the small of the back or to your left outer hip. Keep drawing your left hip back, lengthen your spine. Remember, soften your knees. You don't want to go too deep into the knee hyperextension. A couple more breaths. Inhale, elongate. Exhale, rotate. Good. Now inhale, reach your right arm up. Exhale, bring the right arm down. Fingertips in line or in front of your toes. Draw the right shoulder back. Kind of do wrist a little bit behind the shoulder. Draw the right hip back. Inhale, open the left arm out to T. Rotate, drawing your right hip back. Turn the left palm away from you, top of the hand to the small of the back or to your right outer hip. Keep rotating that upper body as you draw your right hip back. Inhale to elongate. Exhale to twist. Keep rooting both feet into the earth. A couple more breaths like this. Inhale, elongate. Exhale, rotate. Good. Now inhale, reach the left arm up. Exhale, both hands down. Framing your feet, soften your knees so you avoid going too far into the back. Good. Inhale, spine halfway up, hands to shins, shoulders are back, seat is back, belly is in, chest is forward, try to find length. Exhale, fold. Soften the backs of the knees, drop the toes if they were still lifted. Inhale, carefully reverse swan dive to a standing back bend. Quads forward, tailbone forward, chest open, weight in the heels, knees soft. Now inhale, stack your spine, pull your abdominals in, lengthen your tailbone. Think of mountain pose here. Really root the feet, pull the belly button in and up, really engage. Reaching the fingertips, plugging the shoulders in. Now as we exhale, we're going to soften the knees, draw the buttocks back, hinge from the hips, and swan dive forward. Once again, hands on either side of your feet. Inhale, spine halfway up, maybe hands to the earth if you can get there and lengthen. Exhale, fold. Now carefully plant your palms, step your feet back to downward facing dog. Send your seat back and up. Draw the chest toward the thighs. Allow the collarbones to broaden and connect to your breath. Hide the heels behind your feet. Push the mat away from you with your hands and drag the mat back with your feet. Now we're going to go carefully. We're not going to come up to high lunges. We're going to kind of stay low to the ground for back health. We're going to root the left foot into the earth, and as we exhale, step the right foot forward, toes in line with the fingers. You're going to draw your right hip back and your left hip forward. Now I want you to stay on fingertips here, framing the right foot. Draw the shoulders back, lengthen your spine, and think of a nice strong diagonal line. Press strongly into the ball of the back foot. Take a moment here, that left hip point, so if you went underneath your right hamstring and touched your left hip point, you're going to notice it's facing down. I think we did this the other day. I want you to rotate it a little bit to the right. Just the hip point, and you'll feel that inner thigh on that right inner thigh, I should say, kind of stretch a little bit. Stay there with that little bit of a turn. Should also feel that right IT band talk a little bit. Lengthen your spine. Keep trying to square the upper body up. It's just a little rotation in that lower body. Good. Now we're going to return those hips to center. Shimmy your left leg back. Bring the left quadricep down. Remember, tuck if you're on the knee, point if you're on the quad. Now keep that right arm hugging the outside of that right thigh. Lift your chest. So the best way that I found if you want to try to work on the extension, like if your spine feels locked up, is to do crescent lunge. Squeeze the inner thighs toward one another. Right hand to the right hamstring or quad. Carefully come up. Left hand to the quad. So here's where you can practice that feeling of aligning up without the pull. So you draw your right hip back, your left hip forward, lift your chest. So I like to think of it as my chest puffing forward, my skull bone trying to press into the back wall. I'm dropping my shoulders. Breathe. There's a little bit of a pressing action of the arms into that right quadricep. Good. Hi, sweet pea. Now, rotate your upper body to the right. Take your right hand to the small of the back. Good. Now, if you can, snake that left arm to the outside of the right thigh and create half a prayer with your left arm, and your right arm is protecting the small of your back. So a little bit of a twist. Keep trying to rotate a little deeper here. And if and when you feel ready, go to full prayer. Both hands connected, rotating a little deeper here. Keep drawing the pelvis forward. The right hip is back, the left hip is forward. Another couple of breaths. Leaning back a little bit. Every exhalation, try to add a little more twist. Good. Now we're going to go ahead. Exhale, rotate back to center, both hands to that right quad, lift your chest. So keep that hip pelvic complex forward. Draw the shoulders back. Inhale, the left arm rises. Now focus on elongating the spine. Feel like you can lift up out of those usually compressed lower lumbar discs, I should say. Keep lifting your chest, draw the shoulders back, puff the chest forward, draw the skull bone back. You're going to feel a big hip flexor stretch on the left side. Another breath, keep tracking that right knee straight ahead. Now carefully exhale, bring your left fingertips down. Right fingertips down on the outside of the right foot. Tuck your left toes, lift up off the left knee, stay low in the hips. Now go ahead, inhale, straighten out the right leg, lengthen your spine, pull the belly in and draw the right hip back. Try to take a moment to sink the left heel. So I just went ahead and looked back at my left heel to make sure it was sinking. It doesn't have to touch down, but sometimes if we feel pain somewhere else, it's hard to connect to parts of the body that we can't quite see. Once you've looked at your back heel and it's lengthened, I want you to look toward the front edge of your mat. Really strongly point your toes, press into the ball of the right foot without locking out the right knee so you can release the shin. Go ahead and walk your wrists underneath your shoulders, fingertips to the mat, and really focus on lengthening the spine. So I like this pose because it releases the hamstrings, or the right hamstring, because we're on the back ball of the foot, there's a little bit of balance. Feeling that right buttock, do a little bit of stabilizing as well, and we can really lengthen the spine. You're also going to notice you get some work into your shoulders. So just because we do gentle or back mindful doesn't mean that we don't also strengthen. Now, we're going to look back at that back foot. We're going to turn that back heel in, toes out, dropping and grounding the back heel. Tuck the right seat underneath you. You can take your right hand to your shin or to the earth to the outside of the right foot. Inhale to triangle pose. Lengthen through both sides of the waist. Drag the left heel away from you, lean back, and really connect to your breath. Try to lengthen the rib cages so we're creating parallel lines. Breathe, draw the shoulders down the spine, really connect to your breath here. Keep elongating. Relax your jaws. Plug that right thigh bone in. About 2 more breaths here. Slow, deep, steady breaths. Good. Now we're going to exhale, square out the upper body. Inhale, come onto the ball of the back foot. Exhale, bend your right knee, plant your palms. Inhale, plank. Go slow. Pull the abdominals in, draw the shoulders down the spine. Push away from gravity. Now exhale, rock forward, tippy toes to chaturanga. Shoulders back, elbows in, neck is long. Inhale, carefully thread the heart between the shoulders, cobra. So widen your legs a little bit here. Open up through the chest. Connect to your breath. Remember, you can come down onto your forearms in Sphinx pose. This little trick is pull the low belly in, tilt the tailbone forward, let the gluteals do a little more of the work. Draw the shoulders back. Good. Pull the belly button in. Lengthen through your neck. 2 more breath cycles here. Now carefully tuck the toes, downward dog. Send the seat back and up. Draw the chest toward the thighs, allow the collarbones to broaden and really connect to your breath. Inhale. Exhale. So you can lift and lower your heels a couple times. Remember, you're going to be asymmetrical. It's going to feel a little off. All right. And as you're ready, you keep the right foot rooted. Exhale, step the left foot forward, toes in line with the fingers. Lower down, right? So really sink into this. Pull the belly in, keep tracking that left knee in line with the left hip point. You're going to notice that that right hip point's probably aiming straight down. You can go ahead and wrap that left arm around to touch the right hip point and just let the right hip point aim a little bit to the left. So you get a little more stretch going on in the hip flexor. It may progress around to the IT band because there's that slight rotation to the left. Just trying to target different angles at releasing these muscles. I'm up on fingertips and I'm trying to hug my left knee square center. So I'm wrapping my bicep around my outer thigh. Good. Now we're going to return that right hip to center. Maybe shimmy that right leg back. You're going to go ahead, exhale, drop the right quad down. Point the toes if you're on the quad. Tuck if you're on your knee. Draw the shoulders back. Lengthen the spine. Good. Now we're going to go ahead, take left hand to the left quadricep, right hand to the left quadricep. Keep drawing the entire right pelvic complex forward, but the left hip individually draws back, right hip forward. Lift your chest. So you're pressing into the quadricep. You okay, Jody? Yeah, I know. Even this can be a lot on the back, and actually I shouldn't even say even this. This is not an easy pose. I think a lot of people write off crescent lunge, but I find it to be tough. I like the way it feels, but it's also tough for the back. That's why we do the quadricep, so that we can really traction, give the back something to kind of talk to a little bit. So we're going to try to elongate the spine. Now we're going to go ahead, rotate to the left. Take your left hand, bring it to the small of the back. Keep lifting your chest. Now try to snake that right tricep to the outside of the left thigh. Take half a prayer. Rotate, rotate. Keep sending your pelvis forward. Now maybe bring your palms together in prayer and rotate a little deeper. Draw the shoulders down the spine, lengthen through both sides of the waist, connect to your breath. Every in-breath, elongate. Every out-breath, rotate. Keep breathing, keep feeling the energy of those inner thighs drawing toward one another. Another couple of breaths. Good, now we're going to carefully inhale, come back to that center Hands to the quads, lift your chest. Now we're going to try to decompress a little more. Inhale, the right arm rises. Draw the skull bone back, connect to your breath, lengthen through both sides of the waist. Feel like you can lift up out of the obliques, for example. Keep elongating your spine. Stretching that right hip flexor out. Now as you're ready, exhale, right fingertips to the mat, left fingertips to the mat. Tuck the right toes, lift up off the right knee. As you inhale, straighten out your left leg. So find your alignment. We're going to lengthen the spine. The wrists are slightly forward of the shoulders. Draw the left hip back, right hip forward, elongate, and exhale, look back at your right heel. Make sure it's sinking down. It's nice and straight. It's still on the ball of the back foot. Draw the shoulders back. Take the compression out of that low back. Maybe you walk the wrists under the shoulders now. Maybe you come up, down on fingertips. See what you can do. Not on fingertips, on palms. Lengthen both sides of your waist. Another couple of breaths. Stretch out the left hamstring. Elongate the spine. Pull the belly button in and up. Now we're going to elongate and carefully look back at that back heel. Drop and ground the back heel. Think heel alignment, back heel in, toes out. Tuck the left seat underneath you. Inhale, open up to the right, triangle pose. Lengthen through both sides of the waist. So one of the best poses for your back here, if you're going to do anything kind of upright on your legs, is going to be triangle pose. Keep lengthening both sides of the waist. Lengthen the rib cages. Find your slow, deep, steady breaths. Drag that right heel away from you. Take your time. Remember, you can be on your shin if hands to the earth is too much. One more breath. Now we're going to exhale, release the right arm down. Inhale, square the hips, coming onto the ball of the back foot. Exhale, bend your left knee. Plant your palms. Inhale, plank. Push away from gravity. Exhale, tippy toes to chaturanga. Shoulders back, elbows in, neck is long. Inhale, thread the heart between the shoulders in your cobra. Remember, you can come down onto your elbows and do Sphinx instead. Open up through the chest, collarbones broaden, draw the shoulders down the spine. Pull the belly in, very lightly tilt the tailbone forward. Let your buttocks engage a little bit here. Keep pushing away from gravity. Another breath. Now exhale, tuck toes, downward facing dog. Send your seat back and up. Draw the chest toward the thighs. Allow your collarbones to broaden and connect to your breath. Breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. Once again, in through the nose, out through the nose. Maybe walk the dog a little bit. Keep pushing the mat away from you with your hands, dragging the mat back with your feet. Try to lengthen. All right. Now we're going to inhale, lift up onto the balls of the feet. Exhale, bend the knees, bring the knees down to the earth. Push away from gravity here. Come up onto your right fingertips. Draw the right shoulder back, left fingertips. Draw the left shoulder back. Now let your hips drop and your tailbone draw back slightly. Hug your inner elbows in, almost like you were going into cow. But we're on the fingertips and the toes are tucked. You're focusing on dropping that rib cage and opening the chest up. Just to release tension in the back. Keep pulling your belly in. Keep staying on your fingertips. Keep the toes tucked. Exhale, cat here. So this is going to go a little deeper into that mid back. It might even go a little deeper into the low back. You can stay in cat. You can rock back a little bit. Draw the shoulders down the spine. Really pull your belly in. Good. Now as we inhale, we're going to keep the toes tucked. Lengthen the tailbone. Draw the shoulders back. Return to neutral with your fingertips, palms on the mat. Now we're going to exhale, extend the right leg straight back, push away from gravity, really stretch out along the back of the right leg. Even weight in both hands, pull the abdominals in. Pull the rib cage in, draw the shoulders back. Now we're going to inhale, float the right leg up. Keep squaring your hips. Next in breath, open the right hip up. We're going to tuck the left seat underneath us. Both arms are down. Both hands are down. Draw your right shoulder back. Now look to your right. Start to look up to the ceiling. Inhale, your right arm rises. You're opening your chest up to the right. Lengthen through both sides of the waist. So a nice safe way to strengthen the obliques is doing this when your back feels tight. So not quite as much effort as plank, side plank I should say, but still a significant amount of effort without risking the back. Now if you want to, bend your right knee, reach back, catch your right ankle or foot with your right hand, and pull your right leg back a little bit as you open up your chest. So nice quadricep stretch. Again, not as intense as other quad stretches we could be doing, but certainly effective. Another breath. Remember, if you train your eyes somewhere else, you're going to lose your balance. Now inhale, the right leg straightens, right arm up. Good. Deconstructing slowly. Exhale the right arm down to square the chest. Keep the hips open and stacked. Then next exhale, square the hips. Good. And then release the right knee down. You're pulling your belly in. Try to keep squaring yourselves out. All right. Push away from gravity. Exhale, extend your left leg back. Lengthen your spine. Square your left hip forward. Draw the shoulders back. Nice, slow, deep breaths. Now from here, we're going to transfer that weight forward. Inhale, float your left leg up. Keep lengthening your spine. Keep drawing the right hip back. Now we're going to slowly open up. You're going to inhale, open up that left hip, tuck the right seat underneath you, keep the left arm down. May need to open that right foot out a little to the right. Everybody's different. I find in one side I can do kind of okay without moving. The other one I do have to move. Now we're going to open up the left arm. Opening up the chest, try to find your obliques. So that's the trick also with triangle pose. It's great for the back because we're also strengthening the belly, even though it doesn't seem like it so much. This one's a little more apparent. Tuck your right seat under. Now if you'd like to, bend your left knee, reach back, catch your left foot, draw the left foot back. Keep trying to stack the hips and go into your quadricep stretch. Really push away from gravity on that right side. Keep pulling that left knee back, and remember, if you start to look down or around, you're going to lose your balance. So just be mindful of that. Another breath. Good. Now we're going to inhale, reach the left arm up, left leg out. Let's go ahead, exhale, deconstruct, bringing the left arm down. Good. Now squaring out that left hip. Perfect. Now bring that left knee down. Tuck your toes, carefully, carefully, downward facing dog. Exhale. Send your seat back and up. Draw the chest toward the thighs. Connect to your breath. Push away from gravity. In through your nose and out through your nose. All right. So now from here, I'd like you to step your feet mat width apart. So pinky toes to the edges of the mat. Take a nice wide down dog here. Push away from gravity, lengthen your spine, and maybe move your hips around left and right. Releasing tension. Keep even weight in both hands. Just penduluming the hips left and right. All right. Now bringing your hips back to center, keep sending the hips up, heels down. Let's go ahead and walk the hands toward the legs. So you're in a nice big forward flexion with your legs wider. Take your hands to your outer calves. Draw your hips over your ankles and slightly forward and find your breath. Keep breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. Drawing the shoulders down the spine. In through the nose, out through the nose. Keep lining those toes up with one another. Seeing if you can go a little deeper into your forward flexion, connecting to your breath. About 2 to 3 more breaths. Just focus on the stretch. Let your head hang. Good. Now we're going to go ahead, inhale the spine halfway up, 2 hands to shins here. Shoulders are back, seat is back, belly is in, chest is forward. Now because you might be feeling a little tight, let's turn the heels in and the toes out. So nothing changes except the heels turn in, toes turn out. Lengthen your spine a little bit more, elongate, draw the seat back. Notice how this starts to get the IT band as well. Tracks down along the outer knees. Now, we're going to exhale, fold, keep the heels turned in, toes turned out, soften the knees. Now you're going to start to bend your knees, drop your buttocks down toward or to the mat. So we're going to take a garland pose or malasana squat pose with the heels turned in, toes turned out. Lift your chest, draw the shoulders down the spine, and rock your hips a little bit left and right. Keep lifting your chest, drawing your shoulders down your spine. If, like me, you feel like you have a little more room, keep your toes turned out, but walk your feet out a little wider. And then try dropping your buttocks down. So because the heels are turned in and toes are turned out, you may find a little more room to sink in your hips, but you're also probably going to reach a point where that external rotation inhibits your ability to really release. So if that's the case, that's where my body's gone, where I go, okay, I think I have a little more space. I'm just going to turn my toes forward and then drop down and try again. And you might find this helps you a little bit. So for me, that turnout on my left side was a bit much, meaning I couldn't get my full hip release. Draw your shoulders back, lift your chest. Now maybe rock back and forth a little bit. So just trying to find your balance. Keep dropping the shoulders, drawing the seat down. Another couple of breaths. Okay. So now this deep squat, we're going to turn it into a little bit of spinal extension. So how are we going to do that? We're going to turn the heels in, toes out again. Track those knees out, hands to the earth in front of you. You're going to start to walk your hands out. Let those inner thighs drop down. Bring the big toes together, knees apart, and come on down almost like a frog, elbows down on the mat. Draw your shoulders back, pull your belly in, draw your buttocks back. So it's a gentler version of a frog with a little bit of right now opening up into the hips. We'll turn it into more spinal extension in a moment. I want you to press your elbows, forearms down, and push back like you're trying to take your buttocks back toward the wall behind you. Keep opening the knees out, and as you find more space, just open the knees out. Inner thighs are going to start to get more release. And class is going by very quickly today. I'm looking at the time and going, wow. All right, pull the belly in, exhale. Now, with your hands, palms down, keep them kind of, if your palms were here in prayer, for example, you're not going to shorten the stride at all. You're just going to bring the palms down. Now, inhale, lift your chest a little bit. So notice I'm not trying to go super big. I'm keeping my hips where they were. If anything, I'm trying to drop my hip points down a little more and start to build in more spinal extension. Think of cobra. Now go ahead, start to walk your hands in a little bit more toward you, but lift your chest. Keep drawing your buttocks back. I'm trying to keep my big toes together and my buttocks toward my heels as I'm sinking my inner thighs down. If you feel okay, maybe go to your fingertips. Lift your chest. Keep opening those thighs apart. Excuse me. Breathe. Keep sinking those thighs. I actually enjoy this pose quite a bit. Keep releasing the inner thighs. Now try looking down into your chest. So technically I'm looking at my mat, but I'm going to try as my neck opens up a little bit to look into my chest. So sometimes even just looking into the chest when it's a tight back day can be tough. Just be mindful of that. Draw your shoulders back. Keep letting those outer thighs drop. Sorry, inner thighs drop, outer thighs expand. Now, can you walk your hands in a little closer toward you? Keep opening up the chest. Keep drawing those inner thighs down. Keep sending your tailbone back. See how you feel. Take one hand. So I'm going to go right hand to my right outer thigh. I'm still going to sink down. You're going to notice that right side, the low back, is going to get a little bit of work. Keep pressing those knees out, inner thighs down. Now, right fingers down. Take the left hand to the left outer thigh. Press down, open up through the chest. Keep sinking your hips. Keep sinking the inner thighs down. Good. Now, fingertips down. Keep your buttocks back. Exhale, walk yourself back out. Take your time because there's a lot of release the muscles need to do on our way forward. Elbows down, maybe the palms touch. Notice your stretch. Now let's turn this into full frog. So just open your right ankle directly underneath your right knee. Keep drawing your buttocks back. Left ankle directly underneath left knee. Flex your feet. If you feel open enough, maybe bring your chest to the ground. Arms to T.
Let those inner thighs drop. Keep drawing the seat back. Connect to your breath. Pull the belly in. You can turn your head to one direction if you'd like, so that's what I've done. So I'm also releasing my neck. Keep pulling the belly in, lengthen your buttocks back, connect to your breath. So I know this can get fatiguing. It's a long time to be in this shape. Try to find breath. Try to release a little deeper so we let go of some of the tight muscle bands along the inner thighs. As you're ready, turn the other cheek. Stretch the other side of the neck. Keep breathing, just slow, deep, steady breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. Good, now bringing your head back to center. We're going to go ahead, bring the elbows underneath the shoulders. Think of Sphinx pose. Keeping those frog legs for a little longer. Draw the buttocks back and slightly up. Connect to your breath. Push away from gravity. Good, another breath. Now we're going to rock forward, sending the chest toward the earth between your forearms, and straighten the legs out behind you. Point your toes. Anchor your hip points down. Your fingertips are going to go off the sides of the mat. Wrists are going to be in line with the shoulders. Your elbows are out and back. Anchor your hip points. Very tiny little lift of the chest. Inhale. Draw the shoulders back. Pull the abdominals in. Puff your chest out a little bit. Think of those rib cages expanding forward. Anchor the hip points down. You don't want to go super big here. Then exhale, slowly lower the belly. Rib cage, chest, chin. Reach your arms back, palms face up. Now I'd like you to inhale, lift your left arm up, keep the palm up. Next in breath, lift your chest up, keep your right arm down. Next in breath, float the right leg up. So it's left arm, right leg. Draw the shoulders back. Try to square yourself out. Pull the belly and anchor the left hip point. And then exhale, release. Now it's inhale, right arm rises. Keep hugging it toward the right hip. Inhale, chest rises. Keep drawing the shoulders back. Next in breath, left leg rises. Anchor the right hip point down. So anytime you're feeling back pain, this is a nice sequence to do. If you don't want to keep the arm back and you want to go a little more challenging, you could do arm forward, but you want to do opposite arm and leg at the same time. Exhale, release. Now the in-breath will lift all three, left arm, torso, and right leg. Inhale, lift. It's a nice way to work the alternate sides. A little less intense on the back, but it does make us work a bit. Next exhalation, everything releases. Next in-breath, it'll be right arm, torso, left leg. Inhale. Pull the belly, and you can also tell which side's feeling a little weaker. So I always know that my right side's gonna have a harder time stabilizing than my left. And then exhale, release. The next one will put the possibility to add on. Left arm, torso, right leg, inhale. Bend your right knee, catch your right foot. If you want to, lift your right leg up a little bit. Connect to your breath. Engage the right buttock, keep lengthening the right buttock away. Anchor the hip points. Good, now on the exhale, release. All right, here we go. Inhale, right arm, chest, left leg. Option to bend the left knee, reach back, catch your left foot, anchor your hip points down, connect to your breath. And then exhale, release. Take saguaro cactus arm. So bend your elbows, palms face down. We're going to bend the knees and just rock the hips left and right. Release tension. Keep the shoulders down. Pull the belly in. Lengthen your tailbone. Good. Now we're going to straighten the legs out behind us. Point the toes. Draw the shoulders back. Saguaro cactus arms. Just inhale, lift your head, chest. That's it. Keep saguaro cactus arms. Notice how your booty engages. Take a moment, lift the legs, inhale. Lift the chest a little higher, maybe float the arms up, draw those elbows toward the rib cage. Hold here for 3. All of these are great for strengthening the back. 2, 1. Now we're going to bring the wrists, our fingertips in line with the chest, wrists in line with the shoulders or slightly behind. Drop the legs as you inhale, lift to a gentle cobra. Open up through the chest, collarbones broaden. Then carefully exhale, all fours, big toes touch, knees apart to child's pose. Take your time. So it takes me a little while at this point in my life to get into a child's pose. Breathe. Let the back drop. Bring your forehead to the mat. Let's go ahead, bring the palms together. Inner elbows hug toward the sides of the head. Bend your elbows and take your praying fingertips toward the ceiling. Breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. Relax the shoulders, drawing them down the spine. Breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. Let go of tension in your jaws. Good. Now straighten the arms out in front of you and bring the palms down. We're going to inhale, lift the hips back up to all fours, knees underneath the hips. Take a moment here, pull your belly in. Now, you're going to cross the ankles behind you, roll over your crossed ankles, and we're going to come to a seat. So when it comes to back work, sometimes the seated work is nicer or feels more accessible toward the end of the practice. So let's line our heels up with the groin, pressing your outer thighs down. You should have a little more space in the hips because we work that frog. Lift your chest, hands to your inner thighs or knees for a moment. Exhale, hinge about a quarter of the way forward, draw your elbows back, send the sits bones back. Feel like the chest is drawn up a little bit and forward and really root your seat. Now go ahead, bring your hands down. So I'm going to go fingertips to the mat, press into the earth, draw the shoulders back, and try to send the chest forward as I exhale and pull my belly in. I'm going to look up to the corner there where the ceiling and the wall meet, and I'm just going to train my eyes there. I'm going to focus on feeling my mid-back muscles. So I want them to work, my belly to work, and my sits bones to press really deeply down. Then I'm going to my outer thighs, and I'm noticing that they're pressing down. Good. Now we're going to add a gentle side bend twist type movement. So we're going to keep our hands where they are. We're just going to exhale, walk them over to the right, framing the right leg. Notice how you're still keeping that hinge. Then exhale, bend your elbows and try to fold over your right inner thigh. Maybe the elbows, forearms come down. So now it's a nice big side bend. Draw that left hip back, feeling the stretch along the left rib cage. So often we forget to do side bending. We don't do as much. And that's a really tight muscle band there into the outer hip, rib cage, into the lower shoulder. See if you can take an exhale and walk a little more to the right. Not much, just enough that you can get a little more depth to the stretch. If it serves you, look over your right shoulder, and that's also going to add a little more stretch. But if you notice when you get there that it's just too intense, you just pull that the neck turn back. So you just bring your head back to neutral. Good. Now we're going to press the hands into the mat. Stay to the right. If you've come down onto your elbows, forearms, straighten the arms. Draw the shoulders back, lift the chest. Inhale, return to center. Keep finding that extension in your flexion. May need to come up on fingertips to get more length. Look up at the corner where the ceiling and the wall meet. It's just a way to train your eyes and also exercise your eye muscles. Keep rooting the seat. Now we're going to exhale, walk around to the left, framing your left leg. Inhale, lift your chest, and see if you can keep your right seat rooted. Exhale, go a little deeper into the pose. Keep drawing your right hip back. Shoulders are back. Lengthen your spine. Breathe. You can add turning to look over the left shoulder, see how that feels. If you'd like to, maybe a little bit more twist to the left. Deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Good. Now we're going to stay in the side bendy twist. Press the palms down. Inhale, straighten the arms, lift the chest. Then exhale, return to center. Maybe come onto your fingertips, lift your chest, look at the corner where the ceiling and the wall meet, draw the shoulders back. Now we're going to change that. We're going to tilt the tailbone between the thighs. We're going to exhale, hollow out the belly, round the spine, look inward. Notice I tried to keep my arms exactly where they are. Rock a little bit left and right here with your spine rounded. Good. Now keep your tailbone as is. Inhale, slowly stack the lower back, middle back, upper back, shoulders, neck, and head. Let's go ahead and switch the cross of the legs, opposite heel right in front of the groin, and try to line up groin, heel, heel. Lift your chest, grow tall. Let's rotate to the right. Exhale. So because the legs are pretty wide here, it may inhibit the rotation. That's fine. So you're going to have to inhale, elongate, exhale, try to add a little more rotation from the shoulders instead of the low back. So meaning maybe that right shoulder draws back a little more, maybe that left shoulder starts to find its way a little bit more toward the right, but yet keep drawing that left shoulder down the spine. Good. Now inhale, return to center. And exhale, rotate to the left. Once again, it's going to be that rotation in the hips or low back is going to be inhibited a bit by the width of the legs here. So you want to try to find that rotation a little more from the shoulders today. So drawing that left shoulder back, rotating a little deeper with the right shoulder. If you're like me, you may find that this releases your back. I just heard one of the vertebrae pop. Sometimes that happens. The twists have the ability to do that. Then inhale. Return to center, and exhale, drop the shoulders. Let me see how I'm doing on my timing. Okay, so from here, I want you to do one or two more things. I want you to straighten your legs out. Pull the flesh out from beneath you, and scooch back a little bit, actually. All right, so what we're going to do is flex the feet. Try to line the second toes up with the hip points. We're going to start off by bringing the right heel in toward the sits bone. Wrap your arms around the right shin and root your right seat. So all we're really doing here is trying to elongate. We're doing a lot. We're sitting up tall, dropping the shoulders, sending the chest toward the thigh. So we're trying to elongate the spine, really feel the compression of the vertebrae and release a bit. Inhale, exhale. Now, to go into the twist, what we're going to do is just go ahead and let the outer thigh drop. Bring the sole of the foot to the inner thigh. Inhale, grow tall, framing that right, your extended leg. I kind of didn't mirror you there. Breathe. Now, the next thing we're going to do is include the twist and some forward flexion. So now, what we're going to do is rotate the upper body over in the direction of the bent knee. Now you're going to look over the shoulder to see the straight leg. I want you to flex your foot. You're going to think, when we go into the forward flexion, I want you to think of keeping your shoulder inside of that extended leg's arch, the arch of the foot. You're going to stay rotating in the direction of that bent knee. As you're ready, exhale, take forward flexion. So you still have your twist going, you're just flexing here into a bit of a side bend. Breathe. Should feel pretty good. Keep lengthening the spine. Maybe look over the shoulder, to that flexed foot of the extended leg, and make sure that that shoulder's inside the inner thigh, inside the inner arch, and keep looking over the shoulder of the bent knee. Keep leaning back. Should feel pretty good here. I actually like this twist a lot. Notice what's going on in the right shoulder. Notice what's going on in the left shoulder. One more breath. Stay in your twist. Inhale, sit up nice and tall. Then exhale, return to center. Just release any tension in the back. Good. Now we're going to straighten out the bent knee and switch sides. So for you guys, it'll be your left foot comes in. Root your seat, sit up tall. Keep trying to lengthen the spine. Keep putting even weight in both sides of the body. Connect to your breath. Lift your chest. Flex the extended legs foot. Notice how you really have to capture the length of the spine. Now we're going to take the bent knee, bring that foot into the inner thigh. Connect to your breath. Flex the extended legs foot. Exhale, rotate in the direction of the bent knee. So I stopped mirroring you for a second so you'll be in the opposite direction as me. Inhale, elongate. Exhale, rotate. So now while you're in the twist, look over to that extended leg. Make sure that you're getting that line from the front shoulder to that inner arch. Stay in your twist and then exhale, just hinge forward. So your back arm can, if you want to stay on the ground, you can stay on the ground. If you want to tuck it behind you on your back, whatever works for you. I just kind of let it hang in my other twist. This one I'm bringing it to the small of my back. Just seeing where I need to support my back. Keep rotating. Maybe you're looking over that shoulder to see the inner arch. Make sure you're still in it. Breathe. And don't worry how far down you go. You really want to just release the shoulders and back here, enjoying the twist, stretching out the obliques of the top side. The bottom side's going to work. Couple more breaths. Think of how we do in triangle pose, really lengthen. Good, now carefully inhale, sit up tall. Slowly exhale, return to center. I'm going to straighten out that bent knee. Take a moment here, bring the soles of the feet, or actually bring your heels in towards your groin. Sit up nice and tall in a bit of a meditation seat. Close your eyes. Rest your hands on your lap. And find your breath. Breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. Relaxing tension from your face, neck, shoulders, arms. Sitting up tall, relaxing tension from your seat, your outer thighs, feet. Notice how you're breathing. Notice how your back is feeling. Relax, sitting in stillness with your breath. Bow your chin towards your chest, lifting your chest. And I'll be honest, I could sit here like this for quite some time today. Maybe if you feel like doing that as well later on, try to find your seat and sit with yourself for a little. Let's bring the palms together in prayer. Let's come into a space of gratitude, being grateful for someone and something today. Grateful for you guys for practicing with me. I hope you enjoyed today's practice and that your backs feel better. Thank you. Namaste.